What if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for restoring male health after 60 isn't a prescription, a supplement, or a surgery, but a powder you've walked past 1,000 times in your kitchen cabinet? Yes, I'm talking about baking soda. Most men use it to freshen their fridge or scrub their sink, but very few realize it holds the potential to ease joint pain, support healthy erections, calm prostate pressure, freshen the groin, and even restore comfort where it matters most, all with just a few cents per use. I'm Dr. Sophia Jain. I've spent over 30 years helping men regain their vitality, circulation, and confidence using safe, natural methods. And in that time, I've learned something most men never hear from their doctors. Your body still wants to perform. It just needs the right chemistry. And here's the twist most people never see coming. The same baking soda you use in the kitchen can help reduce the 7 most common issues men over 60 face, especially those tied to sexual health, energy, and inflammation. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to use baking soda to support everything from firmer erections to prostate relief to itching and irritation that no cream seems to fix. And stay with me, because tip number 5 might just change the way you think about male hygiene and comfort forever. Before we dive in, if you haven't already subscribed, now's a great time to do it. And don't forget to turn on the bell. That way, you'll never miss another tip designed to help men over 60 feel stronger, healthier, and more in control. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. If not, type 0. I'm always listening and looking to serve you better. All right, let's get into it. And we'll start with one of the most common yet quietly frustrating issues men face as they age, especially after 60. I'm talking about that constant itch, the dryness, the irritation around the groin, thighs, and lower body that just won't go away. You might think it's just part of getting older, but the truth is, there's a simple, natural way to get real relief, and it starts with how you use baking soda in the bath. Let me show you how it works. 1. Soothes itchy, aging skin, especially around the groin. I'll never forget the conversation I had with a patient named Richard. He was 68 in fairly good health, still active, but visibly uncomfortable when he sat across from me in my office. He leaned in a little and lowered his voice. "Doc," he said, "I know this sounds small, but it's driving me crazy. My skin down there, it just won't stop itching. At night, it's worse. I've tried powders, creams, everything. It's embarrassing. I don't feel clean, and it's starting to affect how close I feel to my wife." And Richard isn't alone. Countless men over 60 experience dry, sensitive, irritated skin, especially in the groin, inner thighs, and around the base of the penis. It often comes on gradually, a little tightness here, a little redness there, until one day it's part of your nightly routine. You toss and turn, you wake up scratching, and you start avoiding touch, even though deep down, you miss that connection. Here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. One of the simplest, most soothing remedies I've seen, something my patients come back to again and again, is the baking soda bath. Not fancy, not expensive, but incredibly effective. When you add half a cup of baking soda to a warm bath and soak for 15 to 20 minutes, it does something remarkable for aging skin. The baking soda works to gently neutralize the acidity on the skin surface. That matters because as we age, our skin tends to become more fragile and more reactive to soaps, detergents, and even sweat. Baking soda helps balance pH, reduce inflammation, and calm the nerve endings that send those itchy, irritated signals to your brain. But the benefit goes beyond skin deep. There's something powerful about soaking in warm water with a simple natural ingredient, something that feels pure, uncomplicated, and familiar. It's not a chemical-laden cream. It's not another prescription. It's just you and the water. And for many men, that moment of stillness becomes a ritual, a return to comfort, a small act of self-respect that says, "My body matters. My peace matters." Richard came back just after trying it twice, smiling. "Doc," he said, "I slept through the night for the first time in weeks, and I feel good, like myself again." That's the beauty of it. You don't need a cabinet full of products to reclaim that comfort. You just need the right approach and the willingness to try something simple that works. If you've stayed with me so far, that tells me something. You're not just curious, you're ready to feel better, to get relief where it matters. So keep watching, because what comes next will shift how you think about your digestion, your feet, even your energy. Let's go deeper. The baking soda bath is also fragrance-free, dye-free, and doesn't contain any preservatives, which makes it especially helpful for men with sensitive skin or a history of rashes. And for those who struggle with mobility, even soaking the feet or lower body can bring targeted relief. You'll feel cleaner, lighter, and more at ease in your own skin. And that confidence has a way of showing up in every area of your life. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. While baking soda can work wonders on the outside of your body, what it can do inside, particularly for the way your body handles digestion, discomfort, and even pressure in the lower belly, might surprise you even more. Because for the second issue most men face after 60, we need to go deeper than the skin. So let's talk about what happens when you drink it. 2. Eases age-related indigestion. There's a certain heaviness that settles in the body as we get older, not just in the joints or the muscles, but deep in the belly. Maybe you felt it too, that slow, uncomfortable pressure after a meal, the burning that rises in your chest an hour after dinner, that bloated, sluggish sensation that just seems to linger more and more with each passing year. I remember a patient named Carl, 72, former high school coach, the kind of man who always had a firm handshake and a story to tell. I remember a patient named Carl, 72, former high school coach, the kind of man who always had a firm handshake and a story to tell. But lately, his tone had changed. He told me, "Doc, I can't enjoy food anymore. Everything gives me heartburn, even the foods I've eaten my whole life. It's like my gut turned against me." And I've heard versions of Carl's story from hundreds of men. It's not your imagination. As we age, the stomach slows down. We produce less acid. The muscles that move food through our digestive system lose tone. We become more sensitive to rich foods, late-night snacks, even certain medications. Meals that once brought joy now bring discomfort. And over time, many men begin to skip meals, limit themselves unnecessarily, or rely on pills that promise quick relief, but bring new problems. But there's a forgotten remedy, something simple, natural, and almost always within reach. Baking soda. Just half a teaspoon dissolved in a glass of water can help calm that burning sensation almost instantly. How? Because baking soda is a natural alkaline substance. When it enters the stomach, it neutralizes excess acid, reducing the irritation that causes heartburn, reflux, and that tight, full feeling that makes you dread eating. The best part? It works fast. Within minutes, many men feel the pressure start to ease, the burning fade, and the heaviness lift. And unlike commercial antacids, it doesn't contain aluminum or artificial dyes. It's clean. It's old school. And when used occasionally and responsibly, it's incredibly effective. Carl was skeptical at first. "You're telling me baking soda? Really?" I just smiled and asked him to try it. A week later, he came back and said, "I had pasta for the first time in months. I slept through the night. No burning, no pills. Just that little glass of water you told me about." Of course, like any remedy, baking soda isn't for everyone. It contains sodium, so men with high blood pressure, kidney disease, or those on certain medications should always speak with their doctor first. But for occasional use, especially after heavy meals or when you feel that familiar fire rising, it can be a lifesaver, a simple tool that gives you back something that matters, the ability to enjoy your food again without fear of what follows. What I found most powerful about this habit isn't just the physical relief, it's the psychological freedom it gives. The freedom to enjoy a meal with your spouse, to share a holiday dinner with your family, or to grab a late-night slice of pie without bracing for the discomfort. That sense of control matters more than we often admit. It reminds you that your body isn't broken. It's just asking for a little help. But digestion is only one piece of the puzzle, because the same baking soda that settles the gut may also play a quiet but important role in something far more personal, something that affects your posture, your balance, your confidence, and yes, even your performance in the bedroom. Let's talk about your feet and what baking soda can do for them.
3. Supports foot health and odor control. There's a quiet kind of suffering that comes with aging feet. Most men don't talk about it, but they feel it. Every morning when they stand up, every night when they finally sit down. You've walked on them for 6 or 7 decades. They've carried you into work, through airports, across gym floors and garden paths. But now they ache, they swell, they itch, and sometimes, no matter what powder you use or how often you wash, they carry an odor that makes you self-conscious, even when no one else is around. I once spoke with a man named Dennis, 74, retired firefighter, tough as nails. But when he came to see me, he looked frustrated. "I can't figure it out," he said. "My feet hurt all the time. The skin's cracking. It smells like something died in my shoes. I've tried sprays, creams, even prescription stuff. Nothing's worked." It's embarrassing. What Dennis was experiencing is something I see all the time. As we get older, our skin gets thinner and drier. Circulation slows down. Fungal overgrowth becomes more common. And because many older men have reduced flexibility or mobility, it's harder to care for your feet properly. The result, discomfort, odor, and a sense that something isn't quite right. That's where baking soda comes in. Not just as a cleaning agent, but as a form of restoration. A foot soak made with warm water and a few tablespoons of baking soda can do more than just soften skin. It can help you feel whole again. The alkaline nature of baking soda neutralizes the acids and bacteria that cause odor. It soothes inflammation, calms itching, and even helps discourage fungal activity. Soaking your feet in this solution just twice a week can lead to noticeable changes, less cracking, fewer flare-ups, and a freshness that lasts longer than anything you'll get from a store-bought powder. Dennis tried it. I gave him a simple routine. Soak his feet for 20 minutes 3 times a week, dry them thoroughly, and sprinkle a little baking soda in his shoes overnight. When he returned a month later, he smiled before I even asked. "It's like I've got new feet," he said. "No more odor, no more sting. And my wife's actually letting me put my feet up on the couch again." Now if you're thinking, okay, but can it help in the bedroom? Stick with me. Because in just a few minutes, I'm going to share a surprising way baking soda may support circulation and reduce pressure where it matters most, down there. And trust me, you'll want to hear it. But there's more to it than just comfort. Taking care of your feet, especially with something as gentle and natural as baking soda, is a way of telling yourself that you still deserve to feel good, that every step you take should be supported, not punished. And for men with diabetes, circulation issues, or balance concerns, this kind of regular care isn't just nice, it's necessary. It's a small act, but it has a ripple effect. When your feet stop hurting, you stand taller, you walk farther, you move more freely. And as you do, something else starts to change, blood starts flowing more easily. Muscles wake up again. Your confidence returns. Not just physically, but intimately. Because pain, especially the subtle kind, has a way of pulling us back from closeness. But when the pain eases, even in your feet, your mind opens to connection again. And speaking of connection, there's another area where baking soda works quietly but powerfully to restore comfort and dignity. It's not about muscles or skin this time. It's about your mouth. And if you've ever worn dentures or struggled with oral discomfort, you'll want to hear what's next. 4. Freshens dentures and oral appliances. When I think of dignity and aging, I often think of the small things. Things that most people overlook, like being able to eat without discomfort. Like having a conversation without worrying about your breath. Like smiling freely without the fear of something slipping or smelling off. It's amazing how much those simple moments matter when you're no longer sure you can count on them. I remember talking to a gentleman named Walter. He was 79 and had recently switched to full dentures. "Doc," he said, "I feel like I've lost part of myself. My mouth doesn't feel like mine anymore, and no matter how much I brush or rinse, it always smells like something's not right. I don't want to kiss my wife. I don't even want to talk too close." His words hit hard, because I knew exactly what he meant. The transition to dentures, or any oral appliance, isn't just physical. It's emotional. And when odor, residue, or discomfort shows up, it's not just an annoyance. It affects your identity, your confidence, your connection with the people you love. That's why I often recommend something surprisingly simple. Something Walter had sitting in his pantry the whole time: baking soda. Not foaming tablets or chemical rinses. Just plain baking soda dissolved in warm water. 1 teaspoon in a cup of water creates a gentle, natural soak for dentures, partials, or mouth guards. Unlike most commercial cleaners that contain harsh chemicals or artificial dyes, baking soda gets to work quietly. It lifts away debris, neutralizes odors, and kills the bacteria that collect in the crevices of oral devices. It does all this without stinging your gums or drying out your mouth, something especially important for older men dealing with dry mouth or gum sensitivity. Walter was hesitant, but he gave it a try. Just 1 soak a day. A few weeks later, he came back and told me, "Doc, I feel normal again. My wife said I smelled like myself. I'm not worried when I talk to people. It's like something lifted." That shift? That's the power of comfort. It's not just about removing bacteria. It's about restoring ownership over your body. And it matters. Oral health connects directly to heart health, inflammation, and even mood. So when you clean your dentures with something gentle and natural, you're not just maintaining hygiene, you're protecting your overall health, too. And now, let's talk about something even more painful, but just as manageable. If you've ever woken up with a throbbing toe or ankle, like it's on fire, you may already know what I'm about to say next. 5. May help manage gout flare-ups. There's a certain kind of pain only men who've lived through it truly understand. It doesn't sneak up. It hits like a freight train. You wake up in the middle of the night, your toe or ankle swollen, red, and radiating heat. Even a bedsheet touching it feels unbearable. That's gout. And it's more common in men over 60 than you might think. One of my patients, Harold, 66, told me, "Doc, I never thought something so small could cause this much pain. I can't walk. I can't sleep. I feel like I'm falling apart." He wasn't exaggerating. Gout is caused by uric acid crystals forming in the joints. It's inflammatory, sharp, and relentless. Now, of course, medication is often necessary. But when Harold asked what he could do naturally, something that didn't require another prescription, I introduced him to baking soda. Just half a teaspoon dissolved in a glass of water, once a day during the early signs of a flare-up. Why baking soda? Because it's alkaline. It helps neutralize acidity in the bloodstream, creating an environment less favorable for uric acid buildup. Within days, Harold said the pressure eased, the burning faded, and he could put his foot down again. No, it didn't cure the condition. But it gave him something equally important, a sense of control. And here's the key point. Baking soda isn't a replacement for proper medical care. But when used responsibly, with your doctor's okay, it may help lessen the intensity or frequency of flare-ups. Always remember, it contains sodium, so it's not ideal for everyone. But for many men, it becomes a safe, natural ally. And now, we shift to something most men never bring up, until it starts disrupting their day, their sleep, and their peace of mind. Let's talk about a quiet but frustrating issue that impacts your daily life, your energy, and even your sleep. 6. Helps calm urinary discomfort. This one's tough to admit, even to your doctor. You don't talk about it with friends. Sometimes, you don't even bring it up at home. But you feel it, especially after 60. That sharp burn when you pee. That pressure in your lower belly. That feeling like you constantly need to go, even if it's just a trickle. And the worst part? The uncertainty. never knowing if you'll make it through the night without getting up 4 times, or worrying about leaks on your way to the restroom. George, 70, sat across from me one day and said, "Doc, I hate this. I feel like I always need to go, and when I do, it stings like fire. I'm tired. I'm embarrassed. I just want it to stop." I hear this often. And while serious issues like infections or prostate enlargement must be ruled out first, there's a lot you can do. Especially when the cause is low-grade irritation or inflammation. That's where baking soda might come in. A simple mix, half a teaspoon in a glass of water, once or twice a day for just a few days. It helps neutralize the acid in your urine, which can reduce that sting. No, it's not a cure, and it won't help if there's an infection, but for men who feel burning without infection, this can bring surprising relief. George gave it a shot. 2 days in, he called me. "It's not totally gone, but it's manageable. I'm not scared of the bathroom anymore." And that's the win. That's what this is about. Not just fixing things, but giving you back your peace of mind. When you're not bracing every time you pee, when you're not clenching, when you're sleeping through the night, your whole mood changes. You feel more in control again. And speaking of control, here's another common trouble spot: tiny, painful canker sores that rob you of the joy of eating or even smiling. 7. Treats canker sores naturally. These little guys are brutal. One tiny sore under your tongue or on your cheek, and suddenly your whole day gets harder. Coffee burns, lunch hurts, and even talking feels uncomfortable. They're not dangerous, but they drain your energy and patience. Alan, a 71-year-old former trucker, said to me during a checkup, "Doc, I can't even enjoy a sandwich anymore. One sore in my mouth is ruining everything." He had tried rinses, but most of them burned or made things worse. That's when I suggested a warm rinse with baking soda. Half a teaspoon dissolved in a small glass of warm water, swish it gently 2 to 3 times a day. That's it. No alcohol. No stinging. Just simple, soothing relief. By the end of the week, Alan said, "It's the first time in days I've been able to eat without wincing." Baking soda works because it reduces acidity in your mouth, helping the sore heal faster. And because it's so gentle, it won't irritate the surrounding tissue. It's not just about healing the sore, it's about letting you smile again, eat again, laugh again, and feel human again. That's what true comfort means. Alan told me later, "Doc, it wasn't just the sore that healed. My mood shifted. I could enjoy my meals. I could be around people. I didn't realize how much that little thing was affecting me." And that's the deeper truth. Sometimes the smallest pain can cast the biggest shadow. And relieving that pain, naturally, safely, gently, gives you back more than comfort. It gives you back control. So now we've talked about skin, digestion, joints, feet, the mouth, the bladder. All seemingly small discomforts, but all of them affect how you show up in the world. And in the final part of this video, I want to shift focus just a bit to what baking soda really represents for aging men. It's not just a powder. It's a reminder. 8. The quiet power of simple things. After more than 3 decades working with aging men, I've come to believe this: real healing doesn't always begin in a bottle or a lab. Sometimes, it begins in a moment of stillness, in a warm bath, in a quiet rinse, or a gentle glass of water. Sometimes healing begins with something you already have, like that orange box of baking soda in your pantry. Not a miracle, not a magic trick, but a tool, a reminder, a small act of self-care that says, "I still matter. My comfort still matters." Let's go back over what we've learned. 1 baking soda bath can soothe itchy, aging skin, especially around the groin, and help you feel clean, confident, and comfortable again. Just half a teaspoon in water can settle acid reflux and indigestion, letting you enjoy your meals without dread. That same mix can help reduce uric acid flare-ups from gout, so you can walk without pain again. A simple foot soak can ease odor and inflammation, making your shoes, your steps, and your life more pleasant. It can clean dentures without stinging, and help you feel fresh, dignified, and kissable again. It can calm mild urinary discomfort and reduce that burning sting that so many older men suffer in silence. And it can gently treat canker sores, restoring your ability to speak, eat, and laugh without wincing. These aren't just remedies. They're reminders that your health still belongs to you. That even when your joints ache or your digestion fights back or your energy dips, there are still things you can do that don't require a prescription, a copay, or another pill bottle. They require something far more powerful: your willingness to try, to care, to reclaim your body one step at a time. Because when your body starts to feel better, your mind follows. You sleep deeper. You walk steadier. You smile more. You connect more freely. And suddenly, you're not just aging, you're living. And maybe that's the real gift here. Not just relief from the pain, but the return of presence. Of being here, in your skin, not distracted by discomfort, but connected to your strength again. I've seen men come into my office stiff, guarded, uncomfortable, then return a few weeks later standing taller, talking brighter, smiling more. All because of one small change, one new habit, one moment when they decided to try something new. And that's the quiet magic of simple things done with intention. You don't need fancy. You don't need complicated. You just need something that works, and the commitment to take care of yourself in a way that feels good, not overwhelming. That's why I recommend baking soda. Not as a cure-all, but as a companion. A daily reminder that health isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing one small thing that makes your life easier, your body more at peace, your mind more at ease. So the next time you open your cupboard, I want you to look at that box of baking soda and see more than a cleaning agent. I want you to see possibility. See a way to ease your discomfort. See a way to reconnect with your body. Whether it's soaking your feet, rinsing your mouth, or sipping a little after dinner, these are the moments that tell your body, I hear you. I care for you. You still matter. And now, before we end, if you've made it this far, it tells me one thing: you're serious about your health. You're tired of brushing problems aside. You're ready to feel stronger, more confident, and more in control again. So here's what I want you to do. If even one of these tips made a difference, or if you're going to try just one of them, type yes in the comments below. Let me know you're with me. And if you know another man who's struggling, who could use even one of these simple tools, share this video with him. Don't keep this to yourself. Because healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in community, in conversation, in connection. And that's what we're building here on Sage 70. If you're ready for more tips, more natural solutions, and more strength, hit subscribe. Tap that bell icon so you never miss another video. I'm Dr. Sophia Jain. And I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself. You deserve it.